You're watching Oilers Nation Radio.
This is Oilers Nation Radio, your one-stop shop for everything Oilers. 1 hour of straight hockey talk with Bagged Milk, Tyler, Liam, Rick, and Dan starts now.
We're doing a little back-end producing on the fly. Tyler's standing by the board, make sure our levels are good. This is a take 2 on the intro. We were screaming hot.
Welcome.
Your ears would have hated it more than they usually do.
Yeah, that's just
a shelf
your ears are going to hate the next
careful.
hour, but it won't because of the audio levels.
I've already concussed myself once on the show.
You had a TV back behind your head before, though.
That's true, but
No, Dan was on the edge.
He always hit himself. He always hit his head.
Oh, he
I
did
always
do
hit
that
myself when I
when
did.
someone was
Maybe
away.
when you're sitting in his seat. Then.
Yeah.
Maybe that,
Yes.
or his seat.
when I had to fill in the big chairs.
So we're back in the studio. It's the new old studio.
The new old studio.
This is the ONR studio now.
Yeah, this is going to be for ONR and pre and post game.
Yes.
And then upstairs is ONE. Upstairs at the bar is real life. So everything kind of has a home, I guess.
Yes.
Upstairs at the bar.
Well, it's like an island.
Opened a bar
I
upstairs.
feel
Bar, kitchen island, same.
you. I dig it.
Tyler likes when I turn on the faucet during the podcast.
It's within reach.
It's the first time the 5 of us have been in the same room in a minute.
True.
That's also correct. Yeah, because we did. Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks.
It's been a couple of weeks since we've all been here. Nation vacation, Denver, screaming success. I went to Toronto, a couple of days in and out. Dan was also in Toronto last week.
It was.
And then you were in Red Deer.
Yep.
And Rick was in Mexico probably at some point.
Lots of stuff going
That
on.
was well before that.
I have not been
Still, though.
anywhere.
Well, you were gone the one day. You went somewhere, didn't you?
No,
All right.
you guys
Real-
just went. You guys left me.
That's right. We did
Globe-trotting
leave you.
podcast here.
We did leave you. Well, we're all here. Got plenty to talk about. Oilers are playing some really good hockey right now.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot to get to, but first we're going to do a delicious debate for our friends at Odd Company. Proud to partner with Odd Company on a brand new Nation beer called the Nation Beer Everyday Lager. It is perfect for the next big game or your next go-to lager. There's a game tonight, Edmonton, Tampa Bay. I recommend you pick up at least 24. You don't have to drink them all.
Should I drink this one?
You should. It'd be a little warm though, I think.
Yeah, it's very warm.
It's been sitting there. That's a prop.
It's full though. It features real beer.
Maybe our prop should be empty cans.
Yeah, I don't
So
know
we
why
can
you guys
enjoy them.
haven't drank these already and just used empties.
I chugged
'Cause-
my beer on After Dark. My set beer on After Dark. With
Did you enjoy it?
I did. It was
Delicious.
really, even though it was a little bit warm, I did get to crush it. It was nice.
Well, for the health of Dan, maybe we should, so those aren't full beers behind them, because
Fall on his head.
we're probably pretty close to you bonking your head and that whole shelf coming
Yep.
down.
It's going to make for good video content, though.
Somebody's going to enjoy it for sure.
The YouTube video will be great.
Yep.
Go to the 2 locations, the Odd Company locations here in the city, and then go to Liquor Connect if they don't. If you're not around the 2 Odd Company locations, go to Liquor Connect, find out which liquor stores are selling it near you, and if they're not, just ask why they have poor choices. Get them to bring it in. Promise you're going to enjoy it. As always, I turn this over to Tyler Yaremchuk for our delicious debate for the week.
We got a trade yesterday in the NHLs. The Colorado Avalanche picked up Mackenzie Blackwood. So in the span of a week, 10 days, they've totally overhauled their goaltending duo. They give up Nikolai Kovalenko, a second-round pick. There was a pick swap for later on, and Alexander Gorgiev. And your delicious debate for Odd Company is, did the Oilers miss out on Mackenzie Blackwood?
I'm going to go ahead and say no, because I don't know that they had the picks and prospects needed to make that deal. Did they?
I think
That's my angle on it.
Yeah, I think like the closest comparable on their roster to Kovalenko would be like if they were willing to part ways. And it's not great comparables either way, but like Noah Philp or Vasily Podkolzin, I guess.
Yeah, they're like the only people around that age.
Yeah.
Again, as many people have pointed out this year, the Oilers have the oldest roster in the league.
Mhm.
They don't have young guys.
They could have done the second round picks, but it also would have killed their cap for the rest of the year.
And I also just think, like, listen, we're going to talk about Stu. I've got some numbers I want to talk about with him. He's also looking more like Stu. So ultimately, you're what? You're upgrading Pickard?
Yeah, you
Who's
wouldn't be
playing
trading
fine?
Stu.
Yeah, and you're doubling the contract, over doubling the contract price for a goaltender who's going to play maybe 4 or 5 games more. Really doesn't bring you double the quality of goaltending. And I've been on his side the whole season. I think as long as this team comes out and plays offensive hockey, that everything falls in line, and Stu's really surfacing back to what we expect him to be. So there's no reason to move anybody out of our goaltending duo. There's one actual position they should be looking at, and that should be the majority of their assets.
Yeah, I think the difference between Edmonton and Colorado is just plain and simple. Both goalies in Colorado were terrible. Noonan and Georgiev just gave them nothing. And so if, as an organization, Pickard was struggling at the same time as Skinner, like we saw with Skinner and Campbell last year, they would have been forced to make a move like this and probably would have paid through the nose for it. I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad that Colorado had to go and take both those bullets off the board. Now get to see what happens.
It is interesting though that, like Tyler said, in the span since we were there in Colorado, they now have 2 new goaltenders, both with a wood angle.
Yeah.
Wedgwood, Blackwood, and up front they have Miles Wood.
Yes. And if they hire Jay Woodcroft as their next coach,
Whoa.
we are just a bunch of wood guys.
And Kiefer Sherwood is supposedly on his way already.
See?
Yeah, I didn't consider
It's all
the
coming
Jay
together.
Woodcroft angle.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think these two situations between Edmonton and Colorado are comparable, to be honest. I think Colorado's season is getting sunk by their terrible goaltending. And Edmonton, while the goaltending has not been perfect by any means, I agree with Rick. And if the offense had actually scored some goals, their records probably look a lot different. Their stats look a lot different because I believe, and you guys probably do too, when you're in a tighter game, the other team obviously believes a little bit more that they're going to score goals and win that game. If you're up by a couple, 3 goals, whatever, like the way the offense can run, like then the goalies probably don't have to worry about as much, right? If that makes sense. So I don't think the Oilers missed on this. I think Mackenzie Blackwood is a very good goaltender, and I think he will help Colorado. But I'm a Stu believer and a Pickard believer.
Which duo would you rather have? I know my answer is 100% Edmonton's.
Blackwood and Wedgwood or Pickard and Skinner?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Don't forget, you can only play one goaltender at a time.
I think I'm going with the duo that brought a team to Game 7 of the Cup final last year.
Very interesting approach.
Yeah.
Wedgwood was on the Dallas team that, if you remember, the Oilers eliminated them.
Uh-huh.
He didn't play because he wasn't good enough.
He was also the one that gave up the goal for Connor McDavid's 1,000th point.
That is true.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have got him.
To me, though, like
Practice goalie?
Yeah.
the fact that Colorado was just so willing to include Georgiev in the trade tells
They
you
had
everything
to,
you need
though. Like they were at a point where their old goaltender wasn't working. And then that first trade they made, I was like, well, that doesn't really solve anything. That's your backup.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just, they go to a point of desperation. We are nowhere near that place in terms of our goaltending.
Yeah, and like Colorado overpaid here. Like this is a bigger return than most goalies of Blackwood's caliber get. So, and Colorado, like Chris McFarland, he's that had to do this. Like to sleep at night, they needed better goaltending.
Don't you think they should have went for a better goaltender? I know it's not probably going to be easier, but I felt like if you're going to make a move, you need to go for a better, like you're still a Stanley Cup hopeful type team. I'm sorry, but that goaltending duo is not going to get you there.
I don't think
Don't you think you need someone better?
There's no one out there right now. And I don't think
I don't have a name, so it's a really bad thing.
Well, like I'm just kind of doing like the math of going through all the teams who are kind of out of the race right now. And it's like John Gibson would have been so expensive cap wise, and he comes with term. Like Blackwood is off the books at the end of the year, so if it doesn't work, easy breakup. I don't think there is one out there, and I think part of the pressure from Colorado would have been, whoa, if Blackwood is the only guy on the market right now, what if someone else gets him before us? Then we're fucked.
And it's really good that it's only 1 year, because then you'd be like, well, whatever, the goaltending screwed up this year. Sorry, guys, we'll fix it in the summer type of a situation.
Yeah, that too. Because they got to sign Rantanen this summer and all that. So they need the money. So yeah, I don't think, like, again, would I have been okay if the Oilers gave up? If it was Blackwood and you got him retained so the money works and you had to give up a 3rd round pick to do it, like, yeah, okay. If you want to shore up your goaltending, I'm not against going and trying to find an upgrade on Calvin Pickard. It's just, I'm not sure if Blackwood for a 2nd round pick and a roster player at his full cap hit, so it kills your ability to accrue once everyone's healthy. Like all of that is just like, I'm okay.
I'm curious to see how this clip goes when it gets cut and posted on socials, you know?
I can imagine I could probably tell you the 10 people that comment.
A lot of people doing nothing besides pointing the finger at Stu this year. And I do not think that all the times they're doing it they are correct.
I wish we could check receipts on a lot of them too. Just, are you also acknowledging, like, if you're going to take shots at how Stu played in October, you better be talking about how well he's played his last 5 of 6 starts.
Did you see that stat the other day, like Stu's numbers after a loss?
Yeah. fantastic.
He was 7-1. He had like a 9-15 and a 2 something.
And even his last loss was a 1-0 loss to Vegas.
Yeah. And like, I think people, rightfully so, have been frustrated with Skinner this season. He's had some games where it's been like, that was really bad. But also, pretty much every goalie's had like one game this season. It happens. I don't think Skinner is an elite goalie by any means. I think he has the potential to be one of the better goalies.
Yeah.
But I just don't think the answer is moving on from him, because those same people screaming to get rid of Skinner are the ones pissed off that Ryan McLeod and Holloway and Broberg on here, players we gave up on too early.
And the other thing too that kind of annoys me with this is people who refuse to just accept that goalies have bad games and bad stretches. Like again, 4 straight games for Skinner above a 930. If he were to go 3 more games above a 930, and it's like, boy, this is a heater. And then he'll have one game where he's an 820. There will be people who go, this is why you had to get Blackwood. And it's like, one bad game out of every 7 doesn't make him a bad goalie. Like, I agree. Start of the season, not good. Last year, start of the season, not good. But he has now had a track record of dialing it in as the season goes on. So it's just frustrating the way people want to dismiss Stuart Skinner every time there's one bad goal or one bad game. And like, look around the league. Andrei Vasilevsky, who we're going to see tonight, went through a bad stretch this season. And last year when he came back from injury, went through a bad stretch.
But they also wouldn't say anything about the offense.
No.
So the offense is not scoring. And look at the names that are there. Look at the names. Look at the price tags. They're not scoring. One goal gets scored on Stu that they don't like, and everything's on Stu. Look at what this team is built for offense. Like, well, I'm going to go blue in the face trying to say this. Like, we need to score goals. That's how this team is built. That's where we're going to win, and we're going to live and die with the offense. Your goaltender at this point, if he lets in a bad goal, shouldn't even matter. We should be putting up 3 to 4 goals a game, regardless of who we're playing.
The Vegas game is a good example of that.
Yeah, and Tyler also touched on it. Like, goaltending, it's hit or miss sometimes. Like, Jeremy Swayman is a very good goaltender. Mm-hmm. He had a horrible start to the season. One of the best coaches in the league got fired because of it.
Jake Ottinger had terrible numbers in the first half of the year last year, if not even longer than the first half.
Yeah.
And he came back to being Jake Ottinger. And yet, we're talking 6 games into the season, and everyone's like, you got to get rid of Stu. Now we're however many games we are, and you see his game is coming around back to above average. And all we've ever wanted in the city is average goaltending. We're getting above average goaltending right now. My favorite thing that people have been throwing this out so much recently, and I don't know, I don't really get it. And maybe I'm just remembering the game so poorly, but I don't think I am, of people being like, Skinner lost the Oilers game 7. Or like Skinner lost the Oilers a cup final.
I had someone who said Skinner's confidence will never be able to rebound from what happened in game 7. I'm like, what happened in game 7? He played good.
But no one ever talks about how Leon Draisaitl didn't score a goal
in the cup final.
Nor the Connor. Or Connor scored in the cup final, but like not in the last 2 games.
Yeah, and it's just like, I'm not blaming this on Leon by any means.
No.
But like, it's always Skinner's fault. And it's always the goalie's fault in any scenario. But it's like one of the best playoffs performers ever, Leon Draisaitl, couldn't score a goal. He was very injured.
He only scored 1 in game 7. At the end of the day, it's tough to win when you only score 1.
Yeah, and like, look who scored the game winner. Sam Reinhart, who has 50 plus goals in the NHL. Like,
going back to Stu though, just because Tyler mentioned it, 4 straight starts above a 935. He's also got 5 starts in his last 6 above 931. So that is not just average goaltending. That is well above average this year.
Yeah.
And how old is he again? And what's it happening?
He's just at his birthday.
He's in his 3rd or 4th season right now.
Also, I saw a decent amount of discourse online about the Igor Shesterkin extension, being like, you can't pay goalies that much. Come on. Like, teams are better off going with 2 cheaper options instead of the one big option. It's like, again, the Oilers are spending $3.6 million on their goaltending this year.
What do you want? Well, a little bit more if you count Campbell in there. He's there for the vibes.
Yeah.
You know,
I refuse to acknowledge that.
He's there for the vibes. Anyway, I don't think they missed out on Mackenzie Blackwood. It would have been a nice to have, but that is not a need to have at this point, given, like Rick said, they've got other issues of concern.
If they were in a scenario where they didn't need to accumulate, they weren't accumulating cap, and they just said, like, just say they had $5 million in cap space.
Okay.
I would seriously consider Blackwood.
Me too.
But they're not. But they're not in that scenario.
Yep.
And they can't do it.
Anyway, it is what it is, right? Skinner's playing great. Enjoy while he's playing great. You're allowed to say he wasn't great in October. He wasn't.
The whole team was bad.
But you also got to say, like, listen, he's playing some pretty fucking good hockey right now. You want to talk about October? Like, in 11 games, Connor McDavid had 10 points to start the year. Are you trading him?
I had the same argument already.
Are you
today.
trading him? Of course you're not.
No.
And now he's gone supernova and he's back at 2.5 points per game over the last 10 or something like that. And you go, oh yeah, okay. Sometimes it takes a minute. Anyway.
Some people's kids.
Some people's kids, you know. Sticking with McDavid, report came out today. Nothing surprising. Said the Oilers and McDavid will not start negotiations until the season is done. We still got another year left. I don't even know why it was news. Of course, we covered it because you have to. But no surprise there.
Same thing as the Draisaitl thing last
We
year.
reached out to, Zach reached out to Hart from Puckapedia. He said, yeah, the Oilers could talk to him right now if they want, but they couldn't sign anything even if they wanted to. So what's the point?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
It's not going to be a very long conversation.
Hello, Connor. Here is a check.
Did we do guesses on Connor?
I think we might
Did we
have
do way too early guesses?
Yeah, we don't have anything written down.
Maybe we'll do that a little bit later. We got plenty of time.
A year, apparently.
Well,
Summer.
got a long time to wait. How about this? What month does that McDavid extension happen in?
July.
You think it's that early?
I think
Yes.
it's July.
I'd love it to be a July.
July 1st, sorry, is when it can officially be signed.
When you could officially sign it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he may as well just get it over on July 1st so you know the rest of the summer.
I mean, I'm sure there will be like a little bit of a negotiation here. Like I'm intrigued to see if there's any, now that NHL teams are starting to do it, deferred money in the deal and things like that.
I think one thing we'll have to wait and see, though, is that they mentioned this with the Board of Governors meeting right now, is that one thing they brought up was raising the salary cap more than the 5%. So if you're able to do that, that might lift his money a bit. However, at the same time, I can see Connor just going, no, like give me this. And if it goes up, fantastic, go add to this team and you know, let's see what we can build.
I think he signs in September, based off my research.
What's your research tell you?
This?
Sidney Crosby signed in September.
Okay, go ahead.
Leon Draisaitl signed in September. Austin Matthews signed late August, and Nathan McKinnon signed in September.
Was Leon all the way in September?
September 3rd.
Yeah, because we waited till you got back here.
Oh yeah, he had to come back.
So
to town.
based off my research, I will say September.
Well, if Connor has to, unless he has
10th.
direct deposit, Connor has to go into headquarters to get his $12.5 million check on July 1st. So while you're getting that, you may as well just.
I imagine that's direct deposit.
Think
You just
so?
open up the old banking app on July 1st to look at it and go, that's nice.
I got a feeling he doesn't go pick up his $10 million.
Pick up your
check.
paycheck. All right.
Where's my check?
Don't.
Stopped at 7-Eleven on the way
Jeff
home. and I
Jackson
don't know
wasn't
where-
around to sign it. He's like, come on, Jeff.
That was the worst.
I'm going to say, I also wonder when's Leon's wedding? Because he's not going to sign it till after the wedding's over.
Or does he do it before? So then it's like
No,
Get
I
it
don't
out
think he's
of the
going to
way.
want to take away from the glow of the wedding in the south of France or wherever it is.
That's why you do it on July 1st. You get it out of the way.
I think it's going to be late August. Max term. Let's fucking ride.
Max too.
And then I'm going to go.
Oh, it has to be 8 years. Of course it is.
I'm going to go find some old tweets and I'm going to screenshot them and I'm going to make a little collage and I might turn that into a blanket that I tuck myself in with on a nightly basis
That would be
about how he's
awesome.
never going to come back here. I might even go back to the first extension and be like, oh, he's never going to sign an extension. 8-year term. Shit. All right. Well, the next one.
That's what I meant the whole time.
That's what I meant the whole time. Anyway, no surprise there. If you're worried about it, don't be silly. Don't be foolish. Again, touching on Connor. In his last 13 games, the captain has amassed an incredible 10 goals and 17 assists for 25 points in 13 games. He is just under 2 points per game. Absolute freak.
The kid can play.
So
You know what? He's pretty good at this.
You still have the dates in which everyone said he's going to get back to the top 10 list, correct? Or did you get rid of
Yeah,
that?
and I still got him here because I mark who's the winner. Liam was the winner.
Okay, now who's still in the running for when he gets to first?
We never did that. We just did top 10.
Yeah, but can he get to first? Like BM, I think you were the last, correct? You were
Yeah.
the
I was
furthest.
last.
You were into January.
So you were
correct?
December 3.
Yeah.
I was December
I was off
10.
by a couple
Dan is
games.
December 23. BM's New Year's Day.
So he might be able to get to first place,
Happy New Year.
which is incredible.
Holiday.
Listen, that's my fault for betting against him
That was silly.
verbally. I wouldn't put money on it. I'll tell you that much. But he's so special that sometimes he makes us all look like idiots. And I'm happy to be wrong every time he does.
Also, just quickly on Skinner, I'm doing some very rough back of the napkin math on when he could get to 900. So right now he is stopped 421 of the 472 shots he's faced. If he can work in like a 33 save shutout tonight, I think he's back above 900.
Stop.
Tonight?
Okay, so do you want is it bad podcasting
No,
for this
I want you to
level
work
of
through
check
it.
math?
All right,
Okay.
everybody, work through this.
All right.
I wish there was a camera.
So
on this.
right now he is 421 out of 472. I do that math. It's 892. Okay.
Right.
So let's say tonight is a 33 save shutout.
Go ahead.
So you got to take 421 plus 33.
Yep.
Which is 421 plus 33 is 454.
454.
454 divided by 33 plus 472 is 505.
454.
505.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be 899. So he would, and like 899. Oh, so he'd need.
That's not 900.
So like a 36 save shutout then.
Yeah, so in other words, he can get there today.
He can get there today if he's busy enough and he doesn't allow any goals.
But we can realistically be there by the end of the week.
Depends how much he plays. He might not get that mini game, but maybe Saturday. Yeah, 2 good games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's
I'm not
look
doing
at,
any more math though.
I wish you would. I wish we would do a whole math podcast. But like ultimately at the end of the day, we're looking at just a murderer's row schedule for the Oilers over the next 5 games.
Who do we got?
So tonight we got Tampa.
Right.
Tampa Bay just beat Vancouver 4-2 on Sunday. I watched that game. They just ran over Vancouver. Then they fly to Minneapolis for 1 game on the road against the Wild. So that's the rematch on Thursday. Saturday, we've got a 2 p.m. matinee against Vegas back here in Edmonton. Monday at 6:30, you got the Panthers.
Right.
Are back in Edmonton. And then on Thursday, you've got the Bruins in Edmonton. So you got 5 very tough games coming up here for you.
I'm actually kind of excited because I want to see this. I feel like this team's playing better than it has been all year. And now it's time to sprinkle in some bigger teams.
This is a good measuring stick week. You want to see where you're at. This is the way to do it.
Like we played that Vegas game and we were right there as 1-0. Everything
Is what it is.
it wasn't. Yeah, it was. The inability to score popped up again. But they were there defensively, right? It's a 1 goal game.
Yep. So I guess different question. Those 5 games, Tampa, Mini, Vegas, Florida, Boston. What record would you be happy with considering 4 of those 5 games are at home?
3-2 still. Minnesota's probably a scheduled loss because we hate playing in Minnesota.
3-1-1. I hate scheduled losses.
But I hate overtime losses. I hate predicting overtime losses with this team because they should win every overtime game they're in.
4-1 then.
Nah, 3-2. I'm happy with 3-2. They're totally capable of 4-1, but 3-2 is what I'm happy with. It's a tough. If you can be above 500 in a tough stretch, you're happy.
I was going to go.
Who's the second L2 then? Don't say it.
You slip
Don't
up.
do it.
You slip up either tonight
Don't say it.
or Florida.
I hate you.
Yeah.
But you beat Boston and Vegas. Maybe you slip up against Boston too. Who knows?
See, I would also go to 3-2, and my loss actually, sorry, Rick, is on Monday because that's a prime game.
Oh,
The Oilers have been shut out 3-0 in both prime games so far.
yeah.
I don't know what it is, but Jeff Bezos is pulling strings here.
Bet
Can't score.
When was the
365.
last one?
Exact score bet. 3-0.
Montreal. Oh,
Montreal and
before
the
that,
Devils were the 2 3-0 losses.
Jersey.
Oh, so we were just coming out of. Let's say Montreal. We were getting some traction around that time of the Montreal game. Just not quite in that one. That's
Yeah,
fair.
they just also didn't play that well against
Yeah.
Montreal, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
Dan,
I'm
what do you
curious-
think?
I'm
Next
curious
5
about
games.
the Florida game.
I'm a little bit more optimistic, I think, just because I've got my German buddy coming to visit for the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to say 4-1. I think that the only game that they slip up is going to be the Minnesota game, weirdly enough. But yeah, I'm thinking 4-1.
We're so far ahead, but we were talking about this today on ONE. What's the bigger trap game? The 21st against San Jose at 2 or the 22nd against Ottawa at 6? Matinee against the Sharks, kind of trappy.
That's a sleepy one for sure.
Playing Ottawa the day after you beat the shit out of the Sharks, and then you have to go into your Christmas break, also pretty trappy.
I wonder if that San Jose game is that next gen game.
It is. Hunter gets custody of his kid for the day.
Oh, that's nice. It's been a while.
So maybe they'll play for him.
But hold on, don't you kind of get amped up to play a couple of your old buddies?
I think, yeah.
Who, Cece?
Oh, you bet on a
Like,
CC
these
anytime goal?
are guys were good in the room.
I
Yeah,
also
sure.
think that
I would think it'd be more the reverse because they got shipped out.
Yeah, but you liked him in the room. There's that fun little back and forth like we saw on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Connor Holloway stuff definitely wasn't
Malicious.
Yeah, it was fun going back and forth at each other. That's kind of,
Did you bump into Holloway by chance?
I did not bump into a Holloway.
No?
Yeah, we tried to hook it up, but no.
Let me ask you guys about the game against St. Louis. We talked about it yesterday on Real Life. Were you at the game?
No.
What did you make of the talk about you shouldn't boo players? I think it's absurd. Of course you should boo players if you want to.
There's two sides to it. Like this was a fun type of boo. Actually, I think it was different for two players. I think one when it came to Holloway, it was more of a fun booing.
Broberg got it way worse than Holloway did.
I'd assume so. But I mean, there's people who never really believed in Broberg. I don't know why they'd be upset if they didn't really believe in him in the first place.
I think it's dumb, the people on Twitter who are like, don't boo the players, boo management. It's like, you know what, if Ken Holland, if they put him on the big screen during that game, I would have booed him too.
Wayne doesn't work here anymore.
Wayne Gretzky got booed
Yeah, of course.
during the game, like right between puck drop and double zeros.
I'm pretty sure, did they not back in the day cheer him in the pregame and then boo him during the game?
100%. Once the puck drops, it's game time. Then you boo everybody that's not wearing your jersey.
There was just this thing, like, if you're watching the game on Hockey Night in Canada, Kelly Rudy went on this like rant about why you shouldn't boo players. And I'm just sitting there and watching. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
So you want us to make the library again?
Yeah.
So like in the 80s,
It's fun
the
when people
Coliseum was
boo.
called the library because it's so quiet. I can see it because there's so many of those people like in the building nowadays, right? Or at least you kind of see that same type of a person. I'm not about that, man. We go to sporting events. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, it's such a weird take to just be gatekeeping people's behavior at a sporting event. Like, they're sports fans. Fans is short for fanatic. Like, you are being, the people that are in the stands are the ones that are supposed to be your craziest base.
We're wearing someone else's name on our back.
You're making home ice advantage a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and literally in that game, I credit some of the jeering causing Broberg to
The giveaway.
throw away some grenades. And so it's effective. It also is effective. Not only is it something that you can just like, it's obviously playing into the other team's mindset. It's effective and it helped them. So.
What would you rather our reputation be as a fan base and as a building to play in? Super nice and very sportsmanlike, or harsh as shit and will boo you for anything?
Philadelphia. I want to be the
Yeah.
North Philadelphia. I want the Canadian version of Philadelphia. I want teams not to want to be here.
Yeah.
I loved back in the 90s when people were going into the hotels of the Stars in the playoffs and setting off the alarms.
Yep.
I love that shit. Don't come here. This is our house. This is our territory. Put my jersey on. Cool. You're wearing the opposite. Dude, we're going head up for 60 minutes.
I'm paraphrasing, but Darnell Nurse was asked about it after the game. He goes, listen, they were both great teammates, but they're on the other side now. So they got booed.
And that's our
Skinner's
building,
like
man. You
something
want
similar
that.
to-
We literally heard about Warren Fogle getting chirped by the guys after he signs with the Kings.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing it to each other too.
And again, this isn't going to, it's not like players are going to be like, boy, I don't want to play in Edmonton. The fans are too mean. Like, no, that's not a thing. And then the other angle people got doing, oh, why are you booing? You all would have taken that offer sheet, or if your job, or if another company offered you a raise, you'd quit your job. Yeah, obvious. Like, no shit.
And
But
guess
we
what?
can still boo them.
If the arrival came along and gave me that offer, I would expect you guys to chirp me and shit on
my old
me.
coworker, yeah, go ahead and boo my ass. I don't give a shit. I'm making a lot more money now.
And there's also the other angle too. Like, I don't know why it bothered me, but like somebody who hasn't paid to get into a game in decades,
But
telling people who pay to get in there what they should be doing.
Promise you, they've written articles on like, wow, this NFL stadium's crazy. The home team is making so much. Well, that's pretty rude to make noise while the quarterback's down there trying to yell to audibles because the defense is doing their thing.
We saw it in Denver. The whole stadium shook.
It's fun.
It is fun.
Entertainment.
It is good. Sports is supposed to be fun. At
And
some
there's a
point we lost
massive
it.
difference between that type of booing and I'm trying to like think who the hell we actually boo where there's like when someone like leaves the city with bad terms or something like that.
Like if Pronger
Pronger,
came back, he'd
yeah.
be getting the boo birds again.
But at the same time, 99 got booed.
Yep.
After that, nothing should surprise you anymore. 99 got traded. Any other player gets traded could be sort of surprising, but it can't be that surprising. The greatest hockey player ever got traded, sold, whatever.
Changing gears a little bit. They won the game. Ultimately, that's what matters. And Broberg, giveaway right to McDavid. You love to see it. He almost had one given away to Leon too a little bit later in the game. That would have been so good if he did that. Anyways,
I'd rather have
Sorry,
Troy
I just
Stecher.
wanted to go
I'm
back.
very petty.
I just wanted to go back to what Tyler was talking about there
Yes.
quickly, just about the 2 trap games. I really think that the Senators game is the trap game. I think that the Oilers, since that San Jose loss in November of last season, they've pumped them. They won 5-0 the game in December, and then they won 9-2 in April of last year. So I really think that this Oilers team is not going to take that San Jose team lightly ever again, for the foreseeable future.
And that Sens
But
team's
Ottawa.
not going to have their captain anymore either, right? So
And soft tampering.
Okay, Larry Brooks.
I don't think any of them are trap games, and I think the Oilers will beat the wheels off both of them. And the
I like
Oilers
that attitude.
won't
Merry
lose a
Christmas
game-
to you, Liam.
Won't lose
Ooh.
a game until Christmas.
Does everyone have the schedule in front of them or no?
Yes.
Okay, so for the rest of the month, if you could guarantee a 3-game winning streak for the Oilers over any stretch of games, where would you put it?
Boston, San Jose, Ottawa.
Those are like the 3 least consequential games.
Do
You
ask me
got to include Vegas or LA in it
why?
because those are 4-point swings.
But you asked me to pick a guaranteed 3.
No,
game
like
win
you can right now say it's
Oh.
a
You
can guarantee
I'm not
it.
asking you to guess. I'm saying where would you put it if you could put it anywhere?
I've got
Gotcha.
it. December the 28th to 31st. Kings, Ducks, then Utah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Where would I put it?
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
could place it anywhere.
I think Dan has the right answer.
I want Minnesota, Vegas, Florida.
Me
Same.
too.
I think based off, you kind of need that.
I like
Because
those
Vegas,
two.
Vegas will be the higher team. Like if you're going to need help
Yeah.
catching one, it's going to be Vegas, not LA.
Or a mini for the top of the conference.
And then Florida, I still have an issue with you. Not that this is going to fix anything. However,
I've changed my mind.
Go ahead.
Bolts, Wild, Golden Knights, because that would mean you've won 5 in a row going into the Florida game. So you'd be riding high.
it's not gonna
Or
Your
due
own
for a loss.
supply. No one is due.
Tyler.
It's like Jay today, where he's like, Darnell Nurse is due for a point. We just ended a 5-game pointless streak and got
Last
a point
game.
last game. I don't think
He's
he's
on a
due.
new streak. a
He's
hot
due
streak.
for back-to-back points.
Yep.
Yes.
I didn't have this written down, but I want to give Darnell Nurse some love.
Daryl.
He's playing really good hockey right
It's really
now.
quiet out
And
there,
there's
too.
a lot of you that haven't said shit about it.
Very quiet about that.
You can say what you want about the contract. It's too much money, but like, again, I'd sign it too. You can't blame Daryl for signing. You can't say the same thing about Broberg and Holloway signing those deals and not saying the same thing about Darnell Nurse. He's playing really, really good hockey right now.
Yeah, I'm very happy with him.
Found him a capable partner.
Troy
And this is
Stecher.
what happens. Well, I thought like Kulak was playing out. I think when he was playing with Kulak is when he really started to find his game.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah,
see that thing the other day? Because Stecher just had his 500th NHL game.
Mhm.
Which credit to a guy who went undrafted.
Man, he grinded together.
Has played for basically every team in the league. And he was talking, it was on the ad they do for the show. It must have been when he went to Vancouver camp and they called him Tony Stretcher.
Yeah, Tony Stretcher. And that's just his nickname. It's stuck now.
Yeah.
Tony
That's
Stretcher.
awesome.
That's sweet.
That would suck.
Well, it's
Going
like
to camp and your name is both of them
Yeah,
are
both of them
wrong.
are wrong.
it's
I
like
get the
no.
Stetcher part, but come on, you can't get Troy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tony. It's just like back in the day. If you've been around the nation long enough, that's why we started calling Robin Brownlee Ruben Bronte because he went to collect his press creds and they called him Ruben Bronte on his press
That's where
credentials.
it came from.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
My church once sent me a letter. This was back in the day to
Halifax?
Danny Glover. Danny Glover.
Nice.
That's me. Yeah, Danny
Cool.
Glover.
Very close.
Congratulations on your work in the Lethal Weapon movies.
Yes, I was too old for that shit.
Yeah.
He was 41 when he said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you feel?
Do you not utter that sometimes?
Yeah, but not like just whatever he was going. Maybe what he was going through. Yeah. But man, 41 in whatever year that was, 41 in 1980, whatever. And
Those are
41
hard
in
miles back in the 80s. It seems like.
41 nowadays. I
You'd
think
been
they're
smoking for
completely
30 years.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. Anyway, shout out to Tony Stretcher.
Tony
I had a
Stetcher.
crazy mental block when you said that. I was like, what is Stetcher's first name? I could not figure it out.
Anyway, he scored his first goal in 65 games against the Blues.
What was Bennington doing on that one?
Good thing he's Canada's number one goalie.
Well, I want to ask you about that a little bit because everybody knows about the photo that the Oilers take after the game where the hardest working guy puts on the hard hat, the skilled guy or whatever it is or the best player gets the belt. But after the game against St. Louis, their video coach was the one that put the hard hat on. And I'm waiting to know why. My thought was he had to have found something in a video session that the Oilers singled out and capitalized on. That was the reason he got it. It had to be something like that. I guess we're going to have to probably wait for Oilers Plus to release the drop or something like that. But I'm really curious to know. Do you got any theories? Because that's my theory.
That was my theory too. Like he must have found something that we just haven't noticed yet.
So
But
the
there
goals, Perry deflected
Yeah.
in front.
Right in front.
McDavid, quick shot, quick release off the turnover.
Yep.
Stetcher along the boards.
Stetcher, what was number 4? What was the other one?
Stetcher was the fourth goal.
Yeah, so it was 3.
Hyman on the door.
I'm on the doorstep.
That was
I
a
wonder if
backdoor
maybe
I don't know. Those all seem very standard. Like
Yeah,
what else
nothing-
were they supposed to do in that
McDavid and
situation?
Stetcher were quick shots. Maybe the thing was like,
But McDavid was in the slot on a turnover.
know.
What
but
about what about Stetcher finding the goalie creeping off his post a bit?
them
Well,
maybe,
Stetcher said in his post game, he's just like, I just threw the puck on net.
Yeah, but that's going to be the thing. Like you just throw the puck on net there. He's not stable at that point.
I don't know. I think we're reading into that a bit too much.
Well, if
I
we're
feel like
reading into
he just,
something, we got
That's what we're doing right now. We're coming up with theories.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what it could have been. Maybe it was his birthday.
I think they did it just to mess with us.
I think it was
Probably
his
that could
birthday.
also be a valid answer.
maybe it was his birthday. Yeah.
What's
Time
his-
of
what
base
was his
sitting in the
name?
dressing room right now going, what the hell do they figure out, you guys?
What does they know?
What the shit's going on?
What do they know?
Okay, let's find out this guy's name.
While Liam's looking up for that, some news came out this week. If you're looking on the video version of this, Tyler put up a wanted sign for Victor Arvidsson behind us at the Sportsnet Closet
I
studio.
think it should have been on a milk carton, but
The Sports
that's
Closet
just me.
studio, I should say. He is supposed to be practicing this week after being labeled as day-to-day a month ago, Thursday.
Hold on, practicing or joining
Practicing.
like skating during practice?
I think joining team practice.
Yeah, he's already skating.
he's already skating.
His name is Eric Lenz.
Yeah, I got him here.
What did you do, Eric?
He's figuring it out.
What did you do? Liam,
He's the
don't worry,
video
Liam's
and
on the
analytics
case.
coaching coordinator.
He is diving into the internet, deep into the bowels of the internet to find this out.
Of course, his birthday isn't on there.
But we've talked about this a little bit before. Say Arvidsson comes back at some point in the next week or two. What does that right side look like for you?
I think Kapanen comes out of the lineup. Right. And then you're right. Like the right side right now is Hyman, Kapanen, Skinner, Brown. I think I just put Arvidsson in for Kapanen and you're good.
Where you got Corey Perry playing left side?
Yeah. The DFO is Perry on the left side right now. Perry and Janmark.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Flip
there's
Janmark
left-
center?
Flip them. So whatever you, I think just looking at the 12 forwards, it should be pretty obvious that Kapanen out, Arvidsson in, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Or is Kapanen jumped Connor Brown?
when you're not looking at positions, I think you want to get Derek Ryan out. However, you need that.
You'd have to
centerman.
flip somebody.
You got to flip somebody.
Connor Brown used to play center
When he was 12?
in junior.
Oh.
I feel like he's
You're
preemptively angry right now.
preemptively defending. What just Janmark? You flip him over, Tyler.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
He's not even acknowledging us.
But because I don't, no, we're not doing this again. I refuse.
I'm pretty sure I saw Connor Brown listed as CR wing. On
Where?
some website on Yahoo or something.
Yep.
So he's played center before.
There, no, I refuse to acknowledge.
He was
plays
with the
center when he plays himself on
the junior
NHL.
Marlies or whatever it was when he was 13 years old. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see when, if Arvidsson actually comes back. I think the move with Arvidsson, especially considering the Oilers are playing as well, just slow play him. If he's banged up, and clearly he is, don't rush him back if you don't have to.
I think that's why he's been out as long as he has been, because they're not rushing him back. They
Yeah.
did say relatively shortly, did they not say if this is the playoffs he'd be playing?
a couple of times, but then
Yeah.
there was he didn't recover
And
as
then it
well as
wasn't
we thought. and-
it wasn't like healing or whatever. So I'm fine with them taking their time here. This upsets so many people, but yes, this is like adding pieces throughout the season when you bring him in this late.
When he's at his best, he's a very effective player. He pushes the river, as that would have been the low tide. would
And
say.
again, we are aiming for hockey from April to July. That's when I want him at 100%.
I was very intrigued when Sweden chose him. That was the
I almost wish they didn't.
Yeah.
I would have rather him have those 2 weeks off to.
I don't think he goes. I don't think he goes this close after a longer term injury.
Guys want to prove to their federations and the countries that they're good for the Olympics.
Yeah, but if he's out till, let's say, almost New Year's.
Arvidsson?
Yeah.
But she's playing before Christmas.
Christmas is not that far away.
Oh boy.
It's 2 weeks away.
Santa's coming.
Buddy, you better get your Christmas shopping done. Next week's episode, before we go off to break, I've already got like Santa's wish list things planned for this podcast.
Like
You get your shit dialed in.
Break
Tyler.
starts on the 22nd.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even 2 weeks from right now.
It's
Yeah, last game is the
23rd.
22nd.
Wow.
Then they get that whole work week off, if you want to call it, Monday through Friday. And then they're back against the Kings. 4 2 p.m. games this month.
Oh, yeah.
Very odd. Weird. You want to talk about the schedule? Or no?
You know what? I think I'm just over it. It, quite frankly, hasn't bothered me as much this year. I feel like the other schedule is
Wait till he gets four
reasonable.
2 o'clock games in December.
But they haven't played that game yet where I can't remember which way around it is, but they play in Seattle and fly to Boston the next day or something like that. They have back-to-backs like that this year. I'm sure I saw that. But at least with their single road game. No, that's not happening. Maybe it was someone
Yeah,
else.
that's silly.
Or maybe they're at home and then they fly to Boston or something.
No, they're home or they're in Seattle on a Saturday and then they play in Boston on the Tuesday. So the league was nice to them, gave them 2 days off to travel that far.
What day did they play Seattle?
A Saturday and then Boston's
Night?
that Tuesday.
Saturday night.
Seems weird.
Yeah.
This is a very weird road trip though.
There's a game they play at home, 8 p.m. against the Stars on a Wednesday. Then the next night they're in Seattle, but that's not till March.
That seems dumb. I did a little
They'll be
digging
fine.
on our boy Eric.
Go ahead. What'd you find?
His birthday is April 21st, which is
How did you find it?
I just Googled when is Eric Eln's birthday.
So that might be AI telling you.
No.
that some random-
The Coachella Valley Firebirds, who he used to work for, put out a post for him, wishing him a happy birthday on April 21st.
Well, there you go.
So there you go.
Okay, so
and
not
also,
birthday.
the Oilers have responded to messages about this.
What they said.
And someone said, "Who's that guy?" They said, "Eric." Then someone said, "Can we get an explanation?" And they said, "You'll have to tune into the drop on Oilers."
You
podcast."
rascals. You
This is
rascals.
just to drive subscriptions.
And then somebody posted the picture of that polar bear and said, "What the hell is a polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas?"
Well,
That one
vacation,
gets me. That was a funny one.
yeah.
But congratulations, Eric. Whatever you did for this city, we are so proud of you.
Whatever got you that hard hat, keep it up.
Yeah.
Happy birthday in April, Eric.
Mhm.
I'm getting ahead of it. I just want you to know that I thought of you first.
We'll have to make a post about that.
Just like now. Happy birthday, April 21st, Eric.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think so. Well, I'll
Can't you
get
just
on that.
pre-schedule those things?
Yeah.
I want to go
You're
today.
sitting here right now. Just pre-schedule one.
I don't have that kind of power.
No? Not yet?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You mentioned the Four Nations Cup, Four Nations Face-Off. Sorry, really quickly. Connor McDavid, only addition to Team Canada. Coleman Arvidsson got named to Team Sweden. I was very surprised Zach Hyman was not on there. Very surprised.
Yes.
I thought he was going to have some kind of Chris Kunitz-like situation there where he knows how to play with Connor, and that it made sense. It seems like to me, they looked only at the first 19 games of the year and just went, well,
Nothing else matters.
he hasn't scored 54 in the first 19 games. Can't be on the team.
Which is funny because they only did that with the forwards.
Yes.
The goalies, Binnington and Hill haven't been the best goalies. Like people keep talking about how Skinner isn't on the snub list for the goalies. It's like,
Silly.
yes, because the three goalies on there are the three best goalies Canada had this
Did you
season.
hear the rumor about why they didn't pick Logan Thompson?
Because he didn't want to play
Because of
behind
Bruce
Aiden Hill.
Cassidy?
Yeah, he didn't want to play behind Aiden Hill,
They
and
didn't
Canada
want
was
to do
worried about the drama and
Yes.
dynamic.
Oh, come on.
Well, it's weird how the St. Louis Blues and the Vegas Golden Knights just racked up the selections, and they also have the general manager and the
Good. I hope every single one of the Vegas Knights makes one of these teams.
Mhm.
I hope they play 30 minutes a game throughout that 2 weeks. I hope they lay their body on the line, block everything possible,
Mhm.
do the real hockey player thing.
Yep.
Get in some tilts.
Mhm.
Don't worry about your hands.
That's bad karma, Rick.
No.
Well, my thing is that I do believe that Hyman will be on the team by the end of this. I think that an injury will come up, and he is the first guy to be chosen. But
A lot of people too, like not even inside like Edmonton, were very puzzled, specifically our boy Matt Larkin at Daily Faceoff, that if you saw Matt Larkin the day the roster was announced, the fact that Evan Bouchard was not named to the defensive group drives him nuts.
Matt Larkin. He
was on radio. He wrote about it on Daily Faceoff. He is championing Evan Bouchard as if he was an Oilers fan.
The anti-Stuart Skinner guy.
That's right.
Wow. I do you know what? NHL City's on that too. And I love the charts he puts out of, he just put one out today of Bouchard with and without McDavid. And I don't know what the numbers were, but I know the colors were good. Like the blue is good.
Numbers were, but I
Blue
really like
is
the colors.
good. Red is bad.
Yes.
And that other guy, what's his name? Jay Fresh. He quote tweeted him. NHL said quote tweeted Jay Fresh of Kale McCarr with McKinnon and without McKinnon. And his numbers were red without McKinnon.
Red bad.
Red bad, blue good.
So I saw that too, and it was like McCarr with McKinnon on the ice, percentage-wise, was like in the high 50s and 60s. McCarr without McKinnon was like the low 40s. Everyone else on the Avs without McKinnon was above 50 still. So it was an interesting kind of graph.
Oh, yeah, there it is. So, yeah. McCarr without McKinnon, shot share is 43%, shot attempt share is 42%, expected goal share is 42%. And yeah, to what Tyler said, everyone else without McKinnon, shot share 53, attempted share 55, expected goal share 51. I don't know what that all means either, but again,
I would really like
blue
the colors.
good, red bad.
I think that they should we should put out a clip of this with the graphic over top of it, just going back and forth.
All you need to know is blue good, red bad.
Yeah, that's all.
All you need to know.
And Bouchard had a lot of more blue.
Bouchard's numbers.
Bouchard blue good.
So it's all blue. Worst against
this
is like a shade of
It's a
whitey blue.
light blue, yeah. I'll give the comparison.
Whitey
So these are solid blue colors. Bouchard with McDavid, shot share 63%. Without McDavid, 60%.
Still fantastic.
Attempt share, with and without, is both 63. Expected goal share with McDavid is 60%. Without McDavid is 52. For everyone else without McDavid, 56, 63, 52. Just remember what I said before.
And now that everybody has
again,
stopped listening.
All blue.
Well,
Do you guys think I actually don't mind at all that the boys are going to have 2 weeks of rest in there.
No, I quite like it.
I'm not against it, but also I think it's just awesome to see your franchise represented in these moments.
Would you think differently if February was the Olympics and not this first time made up tournament?
Olympics different. To me, this is a made up tournament that has no history. It's
4 teams only.
4 teams only. I wouldn't be surprised if they never do it again.
They're not going to do it again.
So if this is the Olympics, 100% different.
Yes,
different
I
story.
agree 1,000 times.
But it's kind of like a land of make believe tournament.
And I think by the time the tournament comes around, people are going to be wanting Skinner on the team.
So I'm better late than never. I asked last week, I was like, how excited are you out of 10? And the average answer was like 3. Because it's labeled as a best on best, but is it really? Pasternak's not there. Draisaitl's not there. Kucherov's not there. Like there's so many, you just go on and on about all these players that are not going to be there.
It's fun to go look at the top 10 in league scoring and like see who's not there out of it, right?
I think it's the best on best that the league could give us. And I think that's the best way to
No, because why did they not include Czechia or Slovakia?
How many
because
active?
there's not enough players.
There's not enough players.
There was barely enough
Could they
players
not have
to
done
put
like a
Finland
Europe
together.
team then?
But I think that I'm not against that either. And
But they did that last time, and I don't think the
no one
European
liked it.
the European players didn't like it.
I don't think the fans even liked it.
Yeah.
You know, although Ralph Kruger did a great job.
No, that Team North America and the Team Europe angle was the most fun part of that World Cup.
That it is funny when you look back at that Team Europe, how they were like the underdogs and they had some of the best players in the league on the team. It's like, how have they made it to the final? It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, there's
Marian Hossa is on the team.
Only
Kopitar.
20 players from Czechia have played a game in the NHL this year.
Do you know? So I wrote this article on Oilers Nation of the 4 nations rosters on a budget. So basically just within the cap. And it was funny picking the Finnish defenseman, sorry, because it wasn't really about who should be the 7 best defensemen. It's like who have just been the worst 3. You know what I mean? And it was super easy to pick from there. Because one of them was just in that Trouba trade. The other one's played like 2 games. And then it was the fella on Buffalo, Henry Yokoharu. Pretty easy selection of who you're going to take. Like, you're basically picking between should Yokoharu go or no. Right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
We're like an hour into the pod already, aren't we?
Nope.
49 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's not
We
bad.
got some stuff to do, so I got to talk about some betting. I'm digging in the weeds today because obviously it's a game day for Edmonton, and I want to try and find some good value for you guys. Let's all make a little bit of money together. Why don't we? Sounds fun. Everybody likes making some money. Me, Tyler, and Jay are hot right now, although got a little greedy the other day. The betting segment is brought to you by our friends at Bet365, proud partner of Oilersnation Radio. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use the code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. That code is NATION.
I heard.
So looking at the lines here, fellas, tonight, the Oilers are up against Tampa Bay. Heavily favored on the money line. They are minus 155 on the money line. That to me seems, I don't like that. It seems heavy favorites against a very good Tampa Bay team.
I believe the Oilers can win. I believe they can win every game they're in because they're that good, but that's not a price point I love touching.
Here's the thing that I want to add to that. The Tampa Bay Lightning currently have 5 players who have scored 10 or more goals. Braden Point has 18, Kucherov has 13, Gensel has 12, Hagel has 12, and Cirelli has 11. Of all 5 of those guys also have 24 points or more on the season. The Oilers in both of those metrics, over 10 goals, over 24 points, only have 2. So to me, this is a team that scores a lot of goals. A lot of goals. They've scored 98 on the year. Oilers have scored 82 on the year. They've only given up 76 compared to the Oilers 79. This is a tough one to have that line on it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think home ice obviously.
How many
pushes
games into the road trip are they?
They just started. Vancouver's the first one.
Yeah, they're only 2 games.
When did they leave Vancouver?
They were here yesterday, weren't they, Tyler? They were practicing here because 3 teams were practicing in Edmonton yesterday.
Yep.
3?
Because St. Louis didn't leave Edmonton because they couldn't get hotels because the Swifties took
There
them.
were too many Swifters in Vancouver.
Oh my
Nothing makes you sound like an old man than like you calling them Swifters.
I like to call them Swifters and Trumpies.
If you want to get a little greedy, puck line plus 220 tonight. Over under set at 6.5. The over being minus 115. The under being a minus 105.
I like that puck line.
Can I hit you with this? How many times
you may.
this season in 27 games do you think the Oilers have been underdogs?
3,
2.
1. Last off. 3 is my guess.
I'm going to say 2.
Yeah, I'll stick with about 3.
5.
It's only been 3.
Yes.
And 2 of them were when McDavid was out of the lineup.
The other one was early in the season, I think.
I don't remember the other one.
If you're looking for some
never
value
remember.
tonight, I've found a couple of plays that I might dabble in if I can entertain you with them.
Please do.
Points. We know what Connor McDavid's doing. I read the numbers earlier. He's almost at 2 points per game right now. His line mates to get 2 points. Zach Hyman is plus 290. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins also heating up a little bit. Both those guys are plus 400 to get 2 points. Sticking with Nuge, plus 150 to get 3 shots, and he's done it in 3 of the last 5
Plus 150 for 3.
for 3 shots. Looking at the anytime goal scorers, McDavid plus 120. Draisaitl 125, Hyman 165. That Hyman one it's calling me. It's calling me because he's looking more like Zach Hyman. Nuge is plus at 320 and Jeff Skinner at plus 350. If you're looking for some anytime goal scorers there from the Edmonton side.
I like that Hyman one too.
It's calling me. He's got 3 goals in the 2 games since he come back. Hasn't looked out of place. Hasn't looked out of step.
I think his parents finally got those
Check cleared.
checks in order.
Yeah, they had to do a bank draft, I guess.
Yeah,
They didn't
yeah.
want to just like a personal check. They had to go make sure it was guaranteed money.
Smart.
Tyler, anything you're looking at tonight? What were your guys' bets on O&E today?
Kucherov 4+ shots, parlayed with McDavid 4+ shots, plus 375.
Ooh, that's nice.
Spicy.
That's very nice. Lehman, what was your bet today?
Dry 2 points. Plus 155.
Very nice. Very, very
and
nice.
Jay had Lightning puck line, Braden Point 2 goals, Kucherov 2 points.
What?
No, he didn't. Did
I
he?
swear to God. He doesn't think the Oilers will win.
He also said Skinner sucks.
Yeah.
We had a big.
You're being a rascal.
Yeah.
He had Kucherov.
See that face.
I think he had point. Nurse. Oilers win.
Speaking of Braden Point, I wrote the game notes today at Oilersnation.com. Go get a little prep ahead of tonight's game. Braden Point just hit 4 points in back-to-back games So 8 points in 2 games. And that's one of the first ever players in Tampa Bay Lightning history to do so.
What do they do in the third game?
I'm going to say he gets 0 points.
I like it.
It's going to be tough, though. He's going to be so good, though. That top 6 for Tampa.
But there's games where he can be awfully quiet.
Yep. So anyway, there's some betting talk for you. Again, maybe puck line, a little sprinkle. Plus 220. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Right in it. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet at a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use the code NATION. The code is NATION. NATION. I want to give a shout out to our friends at Great Clips. Who in here needs a haircut? I'm going on Friday.
Oh, me.
Me.
I'm going to lock in on Friday. I'm going to use the, of course, this link doesn't work to where I need it to go. Trevor. There we go. Great Clips. With more than 4,400 salons throughout the United States and Canada, Great Clips is the world's largest hair salon brand and official hair salon of the NHL. Salons are locally owned and operated and open 7 days a week. Your time is valuable. Use the Great Clips check-in app, see the wait time, check in on your phone, and get your haircut when you want. For more information, check out greatclips.com. Great Clips! It's going to be great. Got some keys to victory for you guys here against Tampa Bay. Tyler, we're going to start with you for our friends at Great Clips. You got a key to victory tonight against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, I said you got to be opportunistic in the offensive zone. You'll get some looks on this Tampa Bay team. They win a lot of games because of their power play, not necessarily because they're a super elite 5v5 team or anything like that. So you'll get your looks, but Andre Vasilevsky's put together a couple of good starts in a row, and he's obviously, when he's at his best, still a very, very good goalie. So I'm just looking here, Tampa Bay, middle of the pack, shots against, middle of the pack, goals against kind of team at 5v5. You'll get your looks. So just make sure you take advantage of them, because Vasilevsky's probably not going to give you any easy ones, but they'll be your looks. So yeah, that's my key to victory, is just to be opportunistic.
Dan, for our friends at Great Clips, what do you got? Key to victory.
Special teams on both sides of the ice, but especially the Oilers penalty kill needs to come up big against this Tampa Bay team or stay out of the penalty box. But
either one of those is fine with me.
I just think special teams are going to be a key here with Tampa's lethal power play.
Rick, you got key to victory?
I just like a quick start. I think when this team gets out there and starts playing on their toes early in the game, it really helps them get through the rest of the 60 minutes. And if you can get a quick goal or two, it makes the game so much easier. The whole team kind of falls in line. And I just think, you can get out there, get the game going. Let's just take it to these guys.
Just to touch on Dan's point really quickly, 26% right now the Tampa Bay power play is ripping at. So by comparison, the Oilers are at 20.6. Although the Oilers power play has started to heat up in a big way over the last handful of games, but ultimately the PK is going to have to be dialed in because they're very, very good with the man advantage. Liam, key to victory for our friends at Great Clips.
I'm going to say, I think he needs some depth tonight, and the big guys will show up because they do every night, but I'd like to see something from Henrik, Brown, Yamak on the goal front.
I think that for my key to victory, I think is Tampa Bay is probably going to earn their own chances. Don't give them extras. Take care of the puck. Make simple plays. When the Oilers make simple plays and play simple hockey, they are very, very tough to beat. They've been doing it a lot lately. A lot of north-south. They're not necessarily looking for the east-west all the time. And I think they're going to have to do that even more so, especially over these next 5 games. There's some very, very good teams that'll punish you for mistakes. Limit the mistakes. Respect the blue lines. Just make sure that you're taking care of the puck. And there you go. Little key to victory for our friends at Great Clips. Really quickly before we do the score prediction, we got a couple minutes here left. I just want to talk about the Trouba trade because that one was a monster. And it was weird how that kind of, I was watching it when I was in Toronto from our office over there, just kind of what it looked like. It was kind of like, you either accept this trade or we're waiving you. Yep. Accept this trade or...
And it was and Columbus is picking you up. And I was like, oh shit.
So it's just, I don't pay attention to the Rangers enough. How did this go sideways so quickly with Trouba?
It's a bunch of their players though. I was saying that, I think on the other show, I would ask the same exact question because Trouba's out and then they don't like Kreider and then sometimes it's the Benajad and I don't know what's going they're not a terrible team. They're not in a terrible spot record wise. They're not where they would like to be, but I believe they're still in the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's the fact that they're going this hard it makes no sense to me.
I'm very surprised because they're when the Oilers play the Rangers, I guess that would have been last weekend or 2 weeks ago, whatever that is now. They were 12-5 or something at that point.
Yeah.
And then to go this far, almost like selling off is very strange.
It's almost like the reverse of the Oilers, where like when they were struggling in the first month, I think a lot of kind of sane, rational fans were like, it'll turn around, right? Like certain elements are unlucky and certain things will be better. Don't panic. The Rangers were the reverse, where it was like they were 12-5 or 12-6-1 at one point. And I think a lot of their fans were sitting there and watching the games being like, we look like garbage. And it's Igor. Like at that point, Jonathan Quick had a .970 save percentage. And it was like, oh, this is not going to be sustainable. Like we're going to pay for this at some point if we don't make some changes. So I think that's where they're coming at. But they were in the Eastern Conference final last year.
970 is not sustainable.
But
crazy.
I think that I've actually been more invested and more intertwined in the New York Rangers fandom than most teams, just because of the Matt Rempe factor. And I think that fans, I'm surprised that Laviolette's still there as a coach, like because he came in after Gordon, right? After Gordon had lost the room and
well, Gordon was the GM.
Or no, yeah, sorry, I'm getting it mixed up. Who was the coach
Quinn?
before?
Wasn't it
Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
No, not Dan Quinn's coaching the NFL.
No.
No, it is Quinn.
There's also
Something Quinn. Pat Quinn. No.
Yeah, it was
Jack
Pat
Quinn is on the Sabres. David Quinn.
David Quinn.
After
David.
because there was that game where they were out, and then like the
He just
coaches
goes
were
by
out,
Vid, actually.
and then the Rangers just pumped the shit out of a team, and then that was the catalyst that brings in Laviolette. But Laviolette,
We were all wrong. It was actually David Quinn, then Gerard Gallant, then Peter Laviolette.
exactly.
Laviolette has just never been a guy that's been able to kind of push a team, at least recently for me. And so yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't made a move there. But yeah, it does just feel like they're kind of just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what works, like trading your captain at the start of a season
For next to
is
nothing.
wild.
4th round pick and a prospect. I don't know what the prospect's like, but
He's
He's like 27.
nothing. He
so
was
he's a
in the
man
Ha-
who exists.
He was in the
Gotcha.
Hampus Lindholm trade.
Yeah.
And then
perfect.
And then organizationally, you come out the next day and you've now re-signed Shesterkin using all that money that you freed up from
And
Trouba.
apparently the Ducks wanted to include Cam Fowler in the trade and make it work. And Cam Fowler was like, yes, I would love to waive to go to New York. And the Rangers were like, nah, good.
I think it says a lot. It could go either way. It's either Trouba sucked and no one liked him. And that's why they wanted to get him on. Or management is really trying to send the message being like, everyone's available. Like, you guys better start playing, which is also a terrible idea. So I think they're totally screwed. I don't think they'll make the playoffs. I think, is it Chris
You think they're
Drury?
going to fall out of the playoffs?
They're like,
holy moly.
they're like 2 points out of being last in their division. The division is very tight, but I think they're totally fucked, to be honest.
Crazy.
Like Mika Zibanejad is he's not even playing like an NHL player in some of the plays you see. And
He goes quiet,
I know
too.
it's just like short clips put online, but it's like, pretty sure I would have known how to make that play. If
Was
I
he the one from last night who couldn't like fan
Yeah.
on the? So he
Fan
fanned
on
on
the
the puck in the
pass.
corner, which whatever happens to everybody,
And then just like,
but then got lost in his what
Yeah.
position is he? Left
he's
wing?
a center.
Yeah, because he just stands in front of the net like technically that's where the left defenseman should have been,
Yeah.
and he just stood there and did like a couple of circles and someone scored from in front of the net.
I don't know. Do they not just reek of the Pittsburgh Penguins in their breath? Like, they have a lot
I
more
feel like they
younger
have better players that are younger,
but their forward group is relatively older.
Yeah, but they're not pit for
Lafreniere,
goal.
good. No, it's like it is different. Don't get me wrong,
Oh, yeah.
but like I don't know. This team doesn't scream Stanley Cup contender to me. Obviously, Shesterkin's great, but I don't know. I feel like they're not making the playoffs.
Who's
They're
shaking
gonna
your
get
head
a
at
high
over there?
pick.
The video from the Paul Bissonnette brawl.
oh, I haven't
Did
seen
you
that
put
yet.
out?
They just- yeah,
They're
they just
coming out
released
now. Once we're done this pod, you guys need to watch them.
That's unfortunately, I missed the betting segment because I was watching the entire.
We will be
Missed the
doing
betting
that
segment.
immediately.
Where did you go?
I was sitting right here. If anybody looks on the camera, I wasn't saying anything.
My phone's just been buzzing with people retweeting it. And I was like, I gotta see these.
So we're going to wrap this up. I need to see this video. I'm going to tell you about the Ho Ho Hope Will Never Die holiday sweater that is up at nationgear.ca. Go get that. This is the first time we've ever done a Christmas sweater like this. I'm super excited about it. It looks great. You're going to look great at it at your holiday party. Use the promo code BAGMILK10 if you want to get 10% off your order, or he's not even going to give his promo code. So fine. You don't
Tyler
get it.
10. Sorry. Yes,
didn't
I
even
know I'm
get one.
distracted.
You didn't even get one. So we're going to wrap it up real quick. Gentlemen, score prediction tonight. Edmonton Oilers, Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm going to go with a 7-1 win.
4-2 Oilers.
5-2, so it covers that puck line.
3-2 OT loss.
3-2 win.
We'll be back.
Overtime.
We'll be back on Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.